And I was very pleased, whoever was the principal who came to make the presentation in New Delhi before a committee headed by Justice Bhagwati, Abid Hussain, myself. And this is how we picked up. So please convey my greetings to them. That is the first thing for them. The second, oh, they are listening. Okay. And the second point which they are saying is genetically modified crop. Am I right?
Yes.
How can it take care of
Indian population?
Indian population. Now, it is true that whenever we talk of science and technology, we are living in a very different era of time. And in this different era of time, there could be varieties of interests. And because there are varieties of interest, there cannot be commonality of all the interests at all the time. There will be conflict of interest also. Similarly, there will be conflict of values also. Similarly, there will be conflict of moralities also, right? And therefore, these kind of issues, genetically modified crop, okay, are ridden with these kind of moral, ethical, value dilemmas, okay, and it will depend more on the cultural ethos. That's why I am saying that a scientist need to understand the culture also, because it will largely depend on the kind of cultural ethos in which you are producing that science, whether that science when applied will be easily accepted or will not be accepted. I know when for the first time Bhakra Dam was built, okay, the stories were spread that you are going to get diluted water because Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru is saying that energy will be taken out of it. And if are you getting my point? And therefore a great education had to be given that that's not true. And therefore it's a great job of the universities, educational institutions to master these kind of conflicts and these kind of varied interpretation. And that's why I say holistic approach. A scientist may not take holistic approach. I particularly wish to tell it to Jai Hind College from where this question has come. A scientist may not, like what Professor Srivastava said, how do I contemplate what is going to be the future use of the science I am producing? But tell me, a scientist is doing his work in his lab. But what do you mean by university? What is the meaning of the word universe? And therefore, please understand, every other discipline need to dissect, need to bisect, need to put to pathological analysis of the kind the scientist Professor Srivastava has done through the prism of economics, through the prism of culture, through the prism of history, through the prism of economics and psychology. Unless you do that, I don't think you can easily solve this riddle. ब्रिंजाल को लेके झगड़ा हो गया ना, हाँ? So that's a very serious issue, and I'm glad that this issue has been raised by Jai Hind.
Well, we don't have much time, but okay, we'll go for one or two more questions. Please, mic there. Now there are many hands raised. Yeah, we have to do equity. Young lady, both will be given.
You can also ask, but you can't deprive. There is a single lady who has asked a question. Before you speak, should I tell you something cultural aspect? आप देखिए, IITs में कितना लड़कियों का एडमिशन होता? आज भी आपका कल्चर कहीं ना कहीं साइंस के मेथड्स और प्रोसेसेस को इंजीनियर पिता ये तो मान जाएगा कि डॉक्टर बन जाओ, इंजीनियर का मामला एक बार जरा, आर यू गेटिंग माय पॉइंट? Culture. Yes, Betty.
I'm Dr. Ranjana Verma. I've done my PhD in physics from Mumbai University. My question is not rather a question, it's just a comment. You said that scientists have to have a control or they should have a watch on whatever innovation they are doing. It is used for better purpose or wrong purpose. I would say that I will just add it to that whatever scientists are doing, it is used for better purpose or not. It has to be just not the scientist who has to watch. It has to be each and every human should have a watch on it, because it is a mind of a people who believe that I am doing it for I or my family or my society. Instead of it should be I am doing for whole family or whole society or whole country or whole world. It is not my country. So I add to that US people, whatever they bomb have made, they feel that after making it, they have the power. They will show the power of their nation to the whole world. If they have think that after making the bomb, it is we have some effect on other part of the people also. They just want to show the power. And the scientists who made or invented, they may have thought that whatever they are doing the invention, they are doing for betterment of their society. So it is there. This term has to be removed from each and every mind, and it has to be whole. That has to be come in the picture.
Dr. Verma, you are very right. I'll have only one footnote to the comment you have made, and that my footnote is when I am saying that scientists should themselves look to the accountability. The better way of putting it is peer review. See what kind of science I am producing. My own PR should examine the methods and processes. I am not simply talking of purpose of science. I am also talking of methods, processes, framework, structures of doing science. And it is your peers who are more qualified. Otherwise, you know what might happen? There might be ideological battles. There might be ideological battles. If you leave your science to be made accountable solely and purely in the hands of political class, ideologies will come. I am not saying that they are not important. I am not saying that they should not critique you. They should also critique you. But that is why what was said here about patent and what was said by Srivas about journal becomes very crucial. That in journals, who is going to critique your research? Can I? I cannot. I am not a scientist. So your peer review and peer accountability is very, very crucial, is very, very important. And unless you do that, I do not think that science can serve what in larger perspective it need to serve. How honest? ऐसा नहीं है. साइंटिस्टों में इतना ऐसा झगड़ा होता है कि वो एक दूसरे को आत्महत्या करने तक का धमकी दे देता है. हाँ, मर्डर होता है. वो कई सिनेमा हैं अमेरिका में, वो चोरने का मामला है. See, my language is problem. Okay, now please understand. And therefore, peer is very, very important. And integrity of doing anything is the key. Yes, sir.
Just one question, please.
Okay. Thank you so much. My name is Dr. Anand Hota. You can say I'm an astronomer. Thank you very much for wonderful talk and emphasizing the importance of social kind of usefulness for your research or social duty towards your scientist duty towards society kind of thing. Since last 1 year, I'm kind of struggling to have some formal starting of certain kind of research that can be done, keeping people who are in the remotely located area, who are deprived regions people, like kind of network science. And I'm in communication with Planning Commission, Network, National Knowledge Commission, etc., but have not done it. So my question exactly is, this kind of network science is suffering because structurally and formally, institutes are not allowed to do non-scientific process, like which are not during the confined to their lab processes, doing theoretical research, this thing, they cannot start it because they are not officially allowed to do that kind of work. So the rule should be that everybody has a 5% or few percent duty towards society. So for example, most of the people in central research institutes, they are coming from not at the central cities, but from different part of India. So if they go back to their alma mater, their college, their school, they can contribute like 5% of their resources or duty they are doing. Like I'm teaching, my slides can go. I'm developing a lab. 5% of my central government fund can go to my school. Like even today, my BSc level college laboratory, optics laboratory is pathetic. I cannot look at. But I cannot do it given my fund and my situation. I have to go physically there. And suppose I am working scientist in USA, I cannot go to my village and do this. I have to do it remotely. So formally, if there is a process of allowing the scientists, academicians with at least doctorate degree, that they can contribute to the remote places of India, whole India will
You
grow.
made your point. I've understood your point.
Okay.
Right? I'll simply say one sentence because I know we are running against the time. Your own university, I'm told, has entered into some kind of partnership with University of Illinois, Champaign. And as a part of that, or maybe independent of that, because I only overheard it, right, that you are going to adopt some village. And when you are going to adopt that village, you are going to talk about the problem of water, problem of energy, problem of doing better agriculture, problem of better crop, health, hygiene, sanitation. Now, don't you think, why are you looking for institutional arrangement and structures outside? I am not saying don't look for it. Look for it. But first get integrated to what is happening at your own place. Your own university has created a fantastic opportunity for people of passion like yours, right, who want to contribute, right, to the society. Go and join it. And mind, when you join that project, then you take care of whom? Rural, remote, difficult area. Some river which is flowing here, polluted, heavily polluted, right? Now, you are using some sun rays, producing some catalyst, and using that catalyst, you want to clean that river. Now, please mark, you are young people who should get integrated with all this. Although, what you have said is a fantastic idea, that you like to use your grant, 2% grant, or you like to show your slide to your alma mater in that village or in that school. That's a great idea, and I hope sometime some policymaker in UGC or somewhere should interact to people like you, get these ideas. May not be exactly in this rustic form, but in some shape they should convert into reality. Thank you.
Well, there is a persistent request of a question, so I'll just grant one request. The last one.
I'm Professor Arvind Ganachari from History Department, Mumbai University.
Department of?
History, yeah. And you spoke about science with
Say your name.
I'm Professor Arvind Ganachari. And you spoke about Gandhiji saying science without humanity. I would like to just further elaborate the 7 social sins. He said, if there has to be a just and honorable society, the 7 social sins which we should avoid: 1, politics without principles; 2, wealth without work; 3, pleasure without conscience; 4, education without character; 5, science without humanity; and last, worship without sacrifice. And when Gandhiji went to roundtable conference, Charlie Chaplin had come to meet him there, specially. And Charlie Chaplin asked him a question, and this is what Charlie Chaplin writes in his autobiography. He asked him, why are you against the Western civilization and progress? And Gandhiji said, I'm not against progress if it is beneficial to humanity. But if that is only a progress of technology, and by holding that technology, certain countries are going to use that technology to make my people as slaves, I am against it. And it has been wonderful listening to you. And now my question to you is, as you are so intimately associated with education at the highest policy making level, how do you intend to have an integrated approach between scientists and the social scientists?
Professor Alvin, it's a huge challenge you have created for me toward the end. Here, when I'm sitting before you and talking to you, I'm talking more as a student, okay? As one amongst you, not the one who at some point of time was involved or currently involved or in future will be involved in some kind of policy making. I don't deny, right, that the policy makers need to be sensitive to avoidance of those 7 sins when they are preparing education policy. I don't deny. And the great challenge is how to integrate the education in science and education in social science at one place. It's difficult. That is why it is crucial that some foundation courses, or I'm not very much enamored by this idea of foundation courses, because what happens is you start one course, again credit, again marks, evaluation, and same breath. Nothing happened. I was asked to devise some courses on feminist jurisprudence, and I declined. I said, no, I'm not interested. I've taught feminist jurisprudence for 10 years. You cannot do any feminism just by teaching a course. In fact, this entire thought process should be integral to entire educational experience. And therefore, please mark whether I'm doing science, or I'm doing commerce, or I'm doing theocracy, or I'm doing economics. Mind all 7. Gandhi's beauty, you please mark what 7 things he chose: politics, entertainment, science, knowledge, religion, what not. And therefore, please mark, every pursuit of life will be covered in these 7. And when you pursue these 7, you should not bifurcate one from other. And therefore, it is necessary that teaching of history, culture, and sociology and philosophy, and struggles of a poor man, struggles of hungry, right, they become integral part of learning of science, right? Unless they become, I don't think scientists will do what they are aiming to do. And similarly, an economist must understand the compulsions of doing a better science, a good science, a science which is committed to rural community, and how economics has to be structured around doing that science. I think it's a very holistic perspective, and people like Professor Valukar and his colleagues here in Bombay University all are struggling to do that. Otherwise, why will you call this old joker to come and talk to you scientists? For what? For what? I am very thankful to you, Professor Valukar, and you people for not bruising.
Well, one more question we'll have from Professor Gauli.
Yeah. Sir, this is not a question, it's just compliments to you. I'm Gautam Gauli. I'm a teacher in Department of Applied Psychology. Sir, it's a very wonderful lecture and appealing, particularly ethically, socially. It is very appealing for young scientists also. Like, sir, in psychology we have a theory called attributional pattern theory, where any person who achieves some success or innovation, creation, that has to be attributed. Sometimes we introduce this attributional pattern among the person who has achieved the success to himself, so that his self-confidence get enhanced or developed. But after listening to you, sir, this is again one thing which we have to sensitize our young minds. I mean, those who are achievers and successors. I think they should attribute this success to others, those who have contributed. And I think this is one side, social sense needs to be developed among them. When they achieve, I think this success has to be attributed to others. But at the same time, not at the cost of self-confidence, that his his success or his innovation, his creation also has to be attributed to himself. Sir, sometimes, like UGC, sometimes very constantly hammer on the young researchers, teachers that patent particularly. I mean, many times they wanted to know that, what kind of patent you have. I think this one side, UGC expect us to have this patent. That's what my creation. That's what it has to be communicated to the system for further development. But it's a very wonderful experience to all of us, sir. Thank you very much.
I will just comment one sentence. Most of the time, though we might say it for sake of formality, but even behind formality there is a rationale. And as a sake of formality, what we say, sir, honoring you with Padma Shri, we have honored ourselves. Are you getting my point? And therefore, please mark what dilemma you have placed is resolved like this. I will surely give you Padma Shri. I will surely recognize you. I will surely like you to be elevated in your own eyes and to be happy about your own achievement. But at the same time, I should be honest enough to understand and appreciate that what you have done is honor to myself. Unless that idiom develops, nothing happens. This is only the comment I can make, because otherwise I know that's where Marx failed. क्या बोला कि प्राइवेट प्रॉपर्टी खत्म, तो कैपिटलिस्ट ने क्या बोला, अगर प्राइवेट खत्म हो गई तो ये फिर काम क्यों करेगा, ये तो लेजी रहेगा. I agree that dilemma. I don't dispute that.
Compelling comment. I think patents can be made, but it need not be misused. Better patent it so that others don't patent it and misuse it. The fact that you have patented doesn't force you to make money or whatever patent, use that never.
Idea of patent was plagiarism has to be avoided, theft has to be avoided, stealing has to be avoided, manipulation has to be avoided. Objectives are well achieved, but what happens is when greed, lust, what you are saying is when greed and lust get attached to it, then comes the problem. Novartis could have sold same thing at much cheaper rate.
Well, I think we come to an end to this interaction because of lack of time. I would have liked this to continue further, but since we have limited time, we would like to stop here. But it's my pleasure and duty to propose the word of thanks. Professor Mulchan Sharma, you came, a kabaddi player came to the football field and he made everybody start playing kabaddi rather than football. I think you are not bruised, you have changed these people. Well, thank you very much for giving such a wonderful talk, and I know I have been with him since last evening, and in what condition that he has, he is not well, still he came, and he came to Mumbai with evening flight. Yesterday evening he could not even eat his food, he had to sleep for some time, and then we ate together, and then we interacted. His modesty, saying that he has come to learn, it shows his modesty. I think, thank you very much for coming. I get reminded of two movies. One is Mr. India. There is Mogambo and there is a scientist, who wants to work for India, and his son. So thank you very much for reminding me this movie. Another movie which I get reminded me is of Koi Mil Gaya. There is interstitial, from outer space someone comes and he has humanity in his mind and he helps people. Thank you very much, and therefore we scientists should not become Mogambos, we should become as Jadoo. Thank you so much for, making us learn these things, small things, but very important things. And also the trusteeship of Gandhiji and not the property which we learn. Thank you so much.
For that I should thank you. Because last night he reminded me of someone, Nattu Bhai, sitting in Assam, man from Gujarat or Maharashtra. 50 years he has devoted to service of tribal people. And I met him some 15, 20 years ago. And last night he said that he is my uncle. And that made me think that how Nattu Bhai and how Mahatma Gandhi, this is how I got those 7 sins. And second, thanks to Dr. Panjwani. At 5:30 in the morning, he knows I have to take medicine and I require a cup of tea. And somebody knocked at my door and I said, yes. He said, sir, National College has sent a cup of tea for you at 5:30. Panjwani sahab, thank you very, very
Yeah,
much.
I think we thank you so much. So let us give a big hand to Mr. Mulchan Sharma. Now, our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. Rajan Velukar, he has really chosen a very good speakers, and he had an idea of choosing, inviting Professor Mulchan Sharma, and he had an idea of putting this humanities lecture in for scientists, and I think that's very important. Dr. Velukar, thank you so much for giving us this idea and guiding us in selecting speakers and inviting them. Thank you so much. Let's thank Dr. Velukar. Also, Dr. Rajpal Hande, Director BCUD, is with us, and our Pro Vice Chancellor who are always behind us, helping us and guiding us in planning these programs and then implementing this program. I'd like to thank our Honorable Pro Vice Chancellor, Dr. Naresh Chandra, and Honorable Director BCUD, Dr. Rajpal Hande, for guiding us and then micro-planning these events. Also, the whole team of Registrar, Kumar Khaire, is with us from the GAD. We also have the electrical department. For the lack of time, I will not mention these names, but we had the slide here. Could you please show the slides? The whole team works behind this to make this program successful. We have the team of faculty members, Dr. Srivari Mangai, Dr. Kishore Gaikwad, Dr. Dongre, who is not today here, but he has been with us, Dr. Josna Dongradive, Dr. Sanjay Deshmukh, and other faculty members informally helping us, Dr. Gauli, who has been helping us in this hospitality for the guests, and Dr. Ambuja Salgaonkar also is not here today, but she has been helping in reviewing the competition. We have not been getting a lot of entries into competition, but the number has increased, and in the last program we would announce a prize probably. And Sri Ahire from library, who has been giving us these ornamental books to the guests. Mr. Mohan Kumar, who helps us in the video recording and the AVU live streaming, and AVU team, Mr. Kishore Kumar, Baiju Devdas, and Abhijit Menon, who has been with us. Thank you so much. And the general administration, we have this Samant Madam, Bise Madam, Ramesh Bimbani, DS Kamble, who are here at 8 o'clock, to start planning this program. And the account section, they are always helping us in finance. Thank you so much. And the students volunteer from various departments of Department of Physics, Department of Biophysics, Department of Computer Science, and Department of Life Sciences. Thank you so much. And last but not the least, all the students who took part in competition and all the students who attended here. Thank you so much. With this, we will stand for the national anthem, and we will sing the national anthem together. Thank you so much. जन गण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्छल चलती तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मागे ताए तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे. Thank you so much.